Staying outdoors, rising sea levels and storm surges are posing major challenges for the Gullah Geechee Nation. This community of slave descendants has thrived as a coastal society for centuries along the South Carolina coast. Their heritage and lifestyle are now at risk because of climate change. NBC News correspondent Brie has a look at the efforts to save their culture.
God, quiet trouble, the water. You can see how the little ripples and things like that going like that.
Water, essential to all, but even more precious for Gullah Geechee communities, working to maintain their distinct way of life away from the mainland.
That allowed our Africanisms, as others call it, to continue to evolve here in this land, but to also amalgamate into this unique Gullah Geechee culture. And so we say we the Vinya, we the Guayna, we Toto.
We traveled to St. Helena, South Carolina to meet Queen Quet, chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation. Descendants of slaves, they're known for their unique language and traditions like basket weaving. For decades, they've retained their culture despite the landscape around them changing.
The movement of the Gullah Geechee as part of the Great Migration brought culinary traditions, food traditions, spiritual traditions to the rest of the United States.
Before, the issue was bridges coming in and bringing people in who were overbuilding and displacing us.
Now, one of the biggest concerns is climate change. Increased storm surge and rising sea levels threaten their land and lifestyle.
That causes more flooding. It's causing saltwater inundation in places that were freshwater areas, which also impacts some people's farming ability.
Queen Quet tells me rising temperatures are also taking a toll.
Our oysters we won't have, nor will we have shrimp or crabs if the ocean acidifies.
I'm Geechee. I grew up eating crabs. There's a lot of crabs on the table throughout my life.
Tia Clark runs a business in Charleston, South Carolina, focused on catching blue crabs, a key ingredient in Gullah Geechee cuisine.
It has changed my life and put me in this place to come outside every day and share my culture.
Clark says the water brings her closer to her culture, but she's seen conditions for the wildlife decline.
With climate change, if it stays this warm, then the crabs are around, which means there's going to be a lot of pressure put on them by me and other people that are trying to catch them.
To help, conservationists are building oyster reefs to create a habitat for sea creatures to survive.
Look at where that line is from here for how this reef is protecting the grass. When we start losing some of these resources and when it really starts hitting home and affecting more people is when some real change is going to happen.
This is an effort to ensure survival.
Absolutely. Every part of what we're doing is to ensure our survival as Native Gullah Geechees and the survival of our tradition.
A fight against climate change to preserve their way of life. In South Carolina, Brie Jackson, NBC News.
And stay with us. We've got much more Earth Day celebration coverage to come in our next hour.